Let's be real. Have you ever stopped to think about how a country with over 1 billion people actually runs? I mean, how does a decision made in Delhi find its way to the smallest village hundreds of miles away? Today, we're going to climb India's incredible power pyramid, all the way from the top in parliament right down to the grassroots level of the local village council, the Panchayat. So let's get right into it. Here's our game plan for today. First, we'll tackle the sheer scale of governing India. Then we'll look at some bold ideas that helped shape the country. After that, we're diving deep into the local governments that impact your day-to-day life. Stick with me, and by the end of this, you'll be all set to master this topic for your Class 10 exams. All right, first things first, we have to talk about the biggest challenge of all: size. India isn't just a country, it's more like a continent, packed with an unbelievable amount of diversity. Figuring out how to govern it is, without a doubt, one of the biggest political puzzles on the entire planet. To really get a grip on this, check out this comparison. It's kind of mind-blowing. The state of Uttar Pradesh has more people than the entire country of Russia. And Maharashtra is right up there with Germany in terms of population. So when your states are as big as major countries, you can see why one central government in Delhi can't possibly do everything. This is exactly why sharing power, what we call federalism, is absolutely crucial. So, faced with this incredible diversity, how did India's early leaders handle it? Well, their first big move right after 1947 was a really bold and, at the time, pretty scary experiment. They redrew the map of India based on language.
Now, you have to understand, leaders like Nehru and Patel were genuinely worried. They had just witnessed the country being split in two over religion during partition. They were terrified that creating states based on language would just create more divisions and could lead to the whole country falling apart.
But you know what? History showed that the exact opposite happened. As the historian Ramachandra Guha puts it so well, this policy actually made India stronger. It meant you could be a proud Kannadiga or a proud Bengali and a proud Indian at the same time. Instead of fighting diversity, it embraced it, which actually made the country a whole lot easier to manage. This was a huge first leap in sharing power. Okay, so creating states was a good start, but for most people, the state capital was still really far away. The next big idea was to bring power even closer to the people, right to their towns and villages. And this brings us to a super important concept you need to know for your exams: decentralization. So what on earth is decentralization? It's actually a pretty simple idea. It just means taking some of the power that's held by the central and state governments and giving it to local governments, like your village panchayat or city corporation. The whole point is that local people understand local issues best, right? They know if a water pump is broken or where the new school should be built. Now, this idea of local government had been around for a while, but honestly, it was pretty weak. The real game changer, the moment everything shifted, was in 1992. Remember this year, it's a big one. This is when the Constitution was changed to finally give some real power, some real teeth to this third level of democracy. And this slide right here is basically your cheat sheet. The 1992 Act brought in 5 huge changes. 1. It became mandatory to have regular elections for local governments. 2. Seats were reserved for people from scheduled castes, tribes, and other backward classes. 3, and this was revolutionary, at least 1/3 of all the seats were reserved for women. 4. Independent state election commissions were set up to make sure elections were fair. And 5, the big one. State governments were now required by law to share some of their power and money with local bodies. Seriously, these 5 points are pure gold for your exams. So we know why local government is important, but what does it actually look like, especially out in rural India? Well, it's a 3-level system that we all know as the Panchayati Raj. Let's break it down, layer by layer. It all starts at the foundation, at the grassroots level. This is where democracy is up close and personal, the village.
Here you've got the Grand Panchayat. Think of it as the village's own little parliament, with its members, the Panch, and its head, the Sarpanch. So who elects them? That's the Gram Sabha. And get this, the Gram Sabha isn't some small group of people. It's literally every single adult voter in the village. They're the ones who have the final say on the budget and keep an eye on what the Panchayat is doing. It's direct democracy in action. Okay, so let's move one step up the ladder from the village. This next level is all about connecting a bunch of villages together. This middle tier is the Panchayat Samiti, though you might also hear it called a block or a mandal. It's basically formed by grouping a few Gram Panchayats together. The members here are chosen by all the Panchayat members in that area, acting as a bridge between the villages and the district.
And now we've reached the top of the local government pyramid in rural India, the district level. At the very top, you have the Zilla Parishad. It's made up of all the Panchayat Samitis within a district. But here's what's really interesting. It's not just locally elected people. The members of parliament, the MPs, and the state MLAs from that district are also members of the Zilla Parishad. This is designed to connect the dots, to create a line of communication from the village all the way up to the state and national level. So we've looked at the whole structure. Now let's zoom out and ask the big question. What has been the real impact of this massive experiment in local democracy? Just take a second to think about this number, 3.6 million. That's how many elected local representatives there are in India today. That is more than the entire population of countries like New Zealand or Ireland. It is, without a doubt, the single largest experiment in direct democracy anywhere in the world, ever. But here's the thing, while the potential is absolutely huge, the reality on the ground can be, well, a bit complicated. We see examples from places like Porto Alegre in Brazil, where regular citizens actually help decide the city budget. That shows what's possible. The problem in India is that while elections happen, those important Gram Sabha meetings often don't. And a lot of state governments have been slow to transfer real power, and maybe more importantly, real money. So the system is there, but making it work is still a challenge. So why does any of this matter to you, beyond just being a chapter in your textbook? Well, because this whole system is designed to bring power and decision-making right to your neighborhood, right to your doorstep. And this leaves us with one final, really important question. The 1992 law gave local governments power on paper. But for that power to be real, it takes active citizens. It takes people showing up to those Gram Sabha meetings, asking tough questions, and holding their local leaders accountable. So think about it. What will it take to make local government truly powerful in your own community? Understanding this power pyramid is so important for your exams, and we're here to help you absolutely nail it. So if this explainer helped you out, do us a favor, like it, share it with your friends, and make sure you subscribe to the A1 Institute YouTube channel. And if you're serious about acing those exams, all the info you need for admission, notes, and extra guidance is waiting for you in the description below. Thanks for watching, and good luck.